So let's talk grounding. Let's get our bodies grounded. What does that mean? That means the ability to keep your body stable when you dance so you don't feel like you're slipping all over the place. A lot of times, if we don't move properly, our foot slips easily on the floor. And by doing a few simple exercises, you're going to feel much more stable when you walk and transfer weight when you dance. The best way to get started is barefoot. No ballet slippers, no socks, barefoot. So that way you have the tactile sensation of your foot on the floor so you can really feel what's going on with the exercises and your transfer of weight. Okay, let's get grounded for dancing. And this is not just for tango dancers, this is for all dancers. A lot of times, like ballet dancers are told to be up and so up that your feet slide out underneath you. And the more grounded you are, the more your feet feel really good contact with the floor, the better you're gonna jump and the better you're gonna push off for your turns. So grounding is good for dancers of all types. So get your shoes off, get your socks off. I need bare feet on the floor so you really feel what's happening with contact. So the first thing I'm gonna have you do is stand, hips, knees, feet, one line. And again, watch my alignment video before doing this one so that you can watch your body alignment because I'm not gonna go over that in this video. So I talked about using the foot in one of my videos about walking for tango and flats. And so we're gonna do some weight shifts. I'm gonna show you from the side here. My feet stay flat on the floor. My knees are straight but not locked. And I'm gonna move my whole body straight like a line so that my weight is over my toes and then on my heels. Very slowly, keeping good posture. Okay, so let's go forward to our toes and back to our heels, and our feet stay in contact with the ground, and your toes should be straight and long, not gripping. If you're gripping for dear life on the floor with your toes, that's a sign of poor balance. So don't rock as far in either direction until you can do so with your toes straight and long. So no gripping the floor with those toes. It's a really bad habit and it's going to hurt in tango shoes. So going back and forward. So be careful you're not extending your belly. You're going straight like a board. Okay. And there's not a set number for amount of times you need to do this. Just go nice and slow so you can really feel the weight over your heels, really feel the weight over your toes, and then transition right to the middle. Feel what that's like. Now I'm going to have you shift weight standing tall over your left foot. So I'm not leaning out, okay, that's a different type of thing. I am just putting all the weight on my left foot, keeping my right one in contact with the ground. And then I'm leaning in the other direction to put my weight over my right foot. So I'm feeling, usually we have a bias to stand more on one foot than the other when we stand. There are force plates that can measure this. They're pretty cool in some physical therapy centers. So I'm trying to be as straight and long as possible over the side that's bearing weight. So it's important that we get into our body to know weight shifting, even when 2 feet are on the floor, because we use this dynamic in dance, in all kinds of dance. And again, my knees are straight but not locked. So nothing is forced. If you're hyperextended, your knees should be slightly bent. Do not lock back into hyperextension for this. You're gonna get hurt. Hands at your sides. Okay, and then kind of find where center is for you. And rock forward and back a little bit and find where your feet are centered. The weight is right over the center of each foot. Okay, now bring your feet a little bit closer and you're going to keep your metatarsals down on the floor like we did in the sitting exercise for your intrinsics. And your foot is going to be in good alignment. So you're not out, you're not in. So good straight alignment, knees go straight ahead. And you're going to raise both heels up. And I'm going to transfer the weight down to the heel that's going down on the ground. My left heel is now up. And I'm going to raise up to both feet. Heel down on the left. So let me show you from the side angle. Both heels up, right heel down, both heels up, slowly. The transition needs to be slow, so you're really working your muscles and you're really working your balance. Both up, both slowly down. Now we're going to add a knee bend with this. So I'm going to bend the standing leg, straighten it, both heels up, other heel down, bending the standing leg while that other foot stays up off the floor. Okay, so from the front. So my feet are slightly separated, so I'm not together and I'm not wide apart. Slightly separated, equal weight. Now the weight is over my standing side. I've lifted my right heel up. Both heels are up, right heel down. I'm bending the right knee, keeping my hips level. Knees straight. Up, down on the other side. Bending the knees, stretching out the toes on the other side. Both heels up, right heel down. Left heel stays in the air as I bend the standing leg, weights on the right. Both heels up, left heel down, and bend. And I'm not counting these. It's somewhere around 6 to 10 repetitions that I like to do as a warm-up, whatever kind of feels good to you. And if you're all over the place, you may need to stop, take a few deep breaths, try again. But you really need to feel the contact of the foot with your floor to do this exercise well, so you're not losing balance. Ballet dancers in particular will think releve when they go up, and they're going to try to go as high as possible, and that makes it really hard to balance. So it's not about lifting the whole body up. I'm thinking like a cat. Everything is going down toward the floor without bending my knee or my body to do this exercise. Okay, so that's one exercise to start with as far as a warm-up to get grounded, either before you're about to dance or as a cross-training exercise you can do on a regular basis. Next exercise. Separate your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And I'm going to have you bend one knee, and my hips are staying level. Bend both knees. Knees go straight ahead. And now, right knee straight, left knee bent. Both knees bent, one knee bent. Hip stays straight. Both knees bend. So this is a weight shift side to side, kind of like a typewriter. Let me show you from the side. One knee bends, both knee bend. One knee bends, both knee bends. Okay, and I'm not leaning forward with my body stays straight. So let's do this one a few times, bending both knees, straighten the right, keep your hips level, use a mirror, and bend both, and left bends. And so then you want to turn this into a very smooth transition, so we're not stopping in between. We're just slowly putting weight on one side and transitioning to the other. Feeling what our foot is doing on the floor and making sure that that weight of the foot that we're putting our body weight over is right over the middle of the foot. I'm not over my toes, I'm not over my heels, I'm right in the middle of my foot. Okay, now, next part of it. I'm going to have you lift your heel up on one side. Be careful, your ankle isn't bent. So my toe is going to have more contact with the floor than my little toe. Big toe has more contact. So from here, my weight is now over my left leg. Both knees face straight forward. My hips are level. You're going to raise both heels up and then put the right heel down. My body stays straight and tall. I'm going to put my hands on my hips so you can see. Both heels up and left one goes down. Both heels up, right one goes down. And then when you're comfortable, you can bring your arms at your sides. That makes it a little harder. Up You have to engage your abdominals a bit for this exercise to maintain balance. And I'm not thinking about going way up and over, okay? I am thinking more about my heel lifting and the contact that my toes have with the ground and keeping that stable. And if you could only lift your heel up a little bit to maintain stability, okay, let me show you from the side. I'm going to lift my heel up just a little bit, so it's barely off the floor there. That's fine. Both heels are off the floor. And one heel is down. Both heels and one heel. So if you don't have the mobility or if it hurts to go up that far, you can do a very minimal and get the same benefit from weight shifting, okay? So we're going to do a few of these, whatever motion is comfortable for you. Again, arms at your sides. You don't want your hands forward like this. That brings your shoulders and your head forward. Arms at your sides. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. No tension whatsoever. I'm relaxed everywhere. This is not about tensing everything up, okay? So you can either maybe do an easy, smooth set of 10 of these, or you can time yourself for 30 seconds or a minute, whatever feels right to you. And let's just do one more. Okay, now we're going to combine the two to make a circle. So, bend the right knee, bend both knees. Straighten the right knee, so the left one's bent. Now we're going to do the rising up, straightening the knee, so my heel is off the floor. Both heels are off the floor. Right heel down, left heel down. Right heel up, left heel up. So I'm making a circle. And my hips are staying level. And I'm not having any tension because I'm engaging my abdominals. And if you watched my body alignment video, you'll be able to control all of this. And if it hurts for you to bend your knees very far, just a little bend is fine. You do what feels good to you. It's not about how far you go in this exercise. It's about feeling the contact of your foot with the floor as you change weight. Let's do one more on this side. So we did one direction. Now we're going to go the other direction. This way now. So my hips stay level. Good. Arms at your sides, no tension in the neck. As smooth a motion as possible. And if this exercise is too difficult for you, start with the other two. Start with just the knee bends several times, and then just going up to your toes several times, and get really good at that before you try putting them together. Everyone is going to advance a little bit differently, so don't push yourself to a point where it's too hard and you can't control. Okay, now, right foot forward, left foot back. And so you're not on a tightrope, there's a little separation. So I'm stepping right in front of my hips. Toes pointed straight ahead and no twisting in the hips, okay? So I'm gonna show with right foot forward to start. You don't want this really big, it's gonna be too hard to control. Bring your feet a little closer together. Bend both knees, body stays straight. I'm gonna bring my arms out of the way so you can see. I'm going to straighten my back foot, my back knee, bend both, straighten my front knee, bend both, straighten back knee, front knee. Now make it nice and smooth. And I bring my arms at my side. So I'm just feeling my weight transfer from one foot to the other, going through a bent knee position. Hips are stable, I'm not turning here. Both hips go forward at the same time, both hips go back at the same time. I'm keeping level here. One more. All right, now let's do the up to our toes portion of this. So when you raise your heel up, you want to make sure your ankle is good in good alignment. Okay, so don't let it wobble back and forth. Use a mirror if you need to. And so now, make sure your toe isn't too far in front of you either. It's gonna be too hard. So I'm gonna move my hands out of the way so you can see. Both heels up, right one down. Both heels up, left one down. Ooh. Both heels, right. So my knees are staying straight, they're not bending. And they're not locked either. Both hips travel forward at the same time, both hips travel back. I'm not twisting at all here. So I am going up and over with this one. Up and over, down. Up and over, down. A couple more. Breathe. Be sure you breathe. All right, other foot forward. So I'm going to face forward with this one. You're going to bend both knees, straighten the front one. Bend both knees, straighten the back one. Both hips are going forward at the same time. Nice smooth motion forward. Nice smooth motion going back. Let your arms relax at your sides. Your back stays nice and tall. Think about sternal lift here. Watch my body alignment video. You'll know what that is. Breathe. And if you're falling all over the place, don't bend your knees as up. Just bend your knees a little bit till you get the hang of it. And it does not mean you're advanced if you're way down here. That's straining. You don't want to strain, okay? No one to show off for here. This is about getting grounded through the feet, feeling weight transfer. Not about bending knees, how far we can go. Keeping this level. Breathe. So again, you can time yourself 30 seconds, a minute, whatever feels good to you to help get you warmed up. Or you could actually count these. I kind of like the idea of doing it for a time period so that you don't rush through. Usually if we have a number to hit, we start rushing and you don't get much out of the activity or exercise. Okay, now the one, I'm going to go ahead and face sideways, where the heel lifts, and now both heels lift, one heel down. Both heels lift, right heel down. Both up, and you control the landing. No crashing, no twisting in the spine, just a nice smooth motion up and down. And I struggle more on this side because I don't have as much motion in that right big toe. And so it's more work for me on this side. So we'll all have a side that's better. All have a side that you have to work a little harder. Easy. Breathe. No tension. All right, now, right foot's going to go forward again, and we're going to combine the two. So, bending the knees, making a circle this way. Left heel down, right heel down. Left heel up, right heel up. Left heel down, right heel down. So up and over, bending the knees. Really feel the contact of your foot with the floor. And if you're falling, reposition your feet. Like for me, my feet got a little bit wide apart there. That's why it was difficult. So you can take a moment to reposition if you need to, that's okay. All right, so now we've gone this way. Now we're going to go the other way, this way. So my back is staying nice and stable. And this is about feeling the contact of your foot with the floor, not about how high you can go in releve or how high you go in the calf raise. A couple more times. Right, now the other foot. Circle this way. Nice smooth motion. Breathe. You should be feeling those feet working. Now let's go the other way. So be careful you don't lean your body forward. That happens a lot as you go forward. Make sure your body stays straight. You may want to look from the side, see what you're doing there, or film yourself. Make sure you're not cheating. Usually when you cheat with this one, you fall. Okay, should be feeling more grounded. Yeah? Now let's put on Tango shoes. So I hope you enjoyed the barefoot grounding exercises. The next thing to do is to put on your dance shoes. Whatever the shoes are, if you're a leader and it's a short heel and a fairly flat sole, that's fine. If it's a high tango shoe, put those on. If it's a flamenco shoe with a chunky heel, put those on. Whatever heels, whatever shoes you wear for dancing, it's important that the same exercises be done with the shoes on because it's a completely different feel for your foot on the floor. After you do the series of the barefoot grounding exercises followed by the ones in heels, you're going to feel much more stable when you dance. You're not going to feel your feet slipping out from underneath you. Your weight transfers will be much more even and smooth, and you're going to feel a lot better about your technique and dance really well. So here we are back with our tango shoes, ready to go for more Get Grounded. Leads and those that dance in tango flats or a very, very small heel, still putting a shoe on your foot versus being barefoot is going to be completely different. You're not going to have that same contact with that floor. So doing things in flat, barefoot first is super important to get the most out of these exercises. Then put whatever shoes you're going to be dancing with on, and we're going to do the same ones. So if you remember, we're going to do the weight shifting first, sorry. So I'm going to shift my weight to my toes. Let me show you from the side, from my toes and to my heels. And the higher the heel you have, the less of a shift you're going to have. It's going to be quite minimal. And I talked about this in the Tango shoe shopping video. You might want to check that out as far as how heel height affects your posture and your gait. And as you're shifting weight, be careful you're not grabbing with your toes. Your toes should not be scrunching up in order for you to balance. That's a sign of poor balance. And it becomes habit. And it will hurt over time. Don't grab with your toes. It's kind of hard, but you can do it. You start becoming aware of it now. Okay, so those are a few weight shifts forward and back. And now separating your feet a little bit. Weight over right leg, keeping hips stable. This becomes more difficult the higher the heel. So my heels are staying down. I'm not lifting my heel up in the air here. Heels stay down, foot is flat. The weight is over my midfoot. So feeling the weight shift one side and the other. So if I was really sadistic, I'd do this for 5 minutes. But it's going to be more like 30 seconds to a minute for me just to get it in my legs, in my feet. Okay, So now I can feel like, okay, this is centered, I'm in the middle of my foot. So now we know what forward and back is, side to side. I know where I am on my feet now. So next, bring your feet closer together, but not touching. Lift up one heel, so from the side, one heel is up. And again, I had surgery on this side, so it's not going to be raising super high. Raising both heels up, right heel down. Both heels up, left heel down. And as we do this, we want to make sure that the weight's not going over our little toe. If we can't keep the weight over our big toe, the heel is too high, we need to get another pair of shoes. So both feet, one foot. Up on both feet, both heels up, heel down on the other side. Now I'm going to add the little knee bend with that. Up, heel down, bending the knee, keeping this heel up in the air. Straightening the standing leg. Both knees are straight, both heels are up. Right heel comes down, bending the standing side. Straighten, rise, left heel down, bend. Straighten, rise, right heel down, bend. And then once you get the motion down, you can do this nice and smooth without any stops. So nice fluid motion. Breathe, relax the upper body, no tension. Good posture, good form, all super important. And let's do one more time. Okay, next. Feet a little bit wide, bending the right knee, bending both knees. My heels are flat, my feet are flat, people. Do not lift your heels up for this one. Not about causing pain for you guys. So both knees bent, one knee straightens. Both knees bent, one knee straightens. So as I straighten the one leg, my weight is shifting over the medial side of my foot. I'm not keeping it flat or to the outside. You see what it does to my ankle? I'm letting it rock a little bit, but the heel is staying down on the floor. So let me show you from the side. Here, here, oops, here. Okay, the heels are not raising up in the air. Okay, not yet. So bending one side, other. So transitioning, kind of like a typewriter, ka-ching, ka-ching. And if this is uncomfortable, bring your feet a little closer together. And maybe don't bend your knees as far. That's fine. Slight knee bend. Should not be straining. Nothing should be straining. Something is straining and hurting, you're doing it wrong. Doing too much. Adjust. Okay, now I'm lifting the heel on the left. Both heels raise. Right heel down. Both heels raise. I'm sorry, right heel down. Both heels raise. Left heel down. So from the side, heel up. Both heels up. One heel down. Both heels up. Other heel down. So this is the up and over. If it's uncomfortable at all, bring your feet closer together. And down. Make sure your feet are equidistant. That's what I'm kind of adjusting here. So one foot's not farther in front than the other. Different exercise. Now let's do the circle. Bend, bend, heels down, right heel up, both heels up, right heel down, left heel down. Right heel up, both heels up, right heel down, left heel down. Nice smooth motion. Just exactly what we did in bare feet, we're doing here. And if you can't do this with your pair of Tango shoes, they're too high. You should be able to have control doing this. One more. And now we go to the other side. Faster is not better. Faster makes it easier and you're going to be compensating, doing weird things. Don't do that. Slow and controlled. It's harder. You're working your balance more and you're working your muscles more. Get more bang for your buck with the exercise. The other, might as well not do anything, okay? Nice and slow and controlled. Don't worry, you'll be able to move fast much more efficiently if you do these slowly. All right, now let's do the ones with 1 foot forward. So starting with the right foot forward, again, the higher the heel, the closer your feet need to be for comfort, all right? So don't strain yourself. Bending both knees, straightening the back knee, bending both knees, straightening the front knee. My upper body is staying level. So just going back and forth a couple times, make sure your knees stay pointed straight ahead. No twisting at the hips. Once you get better at this, you could just go directly to the circles. You don't have to do these two motions separately. So you do more of the circles and less of this. Okay, now lifting the right heel up off the floor. Both heels up, right heel down. Both heels up, left heel down. So hips stay level. One hip is not going in front of the other. There's no twisting. And again, the knees are straight but not locked. Not locked. Nothing strained. Nothing forced. Your goal is to make this as easy as possible. Easy peasy. All right, now let's do a circle. Down, down, left heel up, both heels up, left heel down, right heel down. Left heel up, both heels up, left heel down, right heel down. And a smooth motion going in one direction. And when you do these on your own, you could do more if you want to. That's great. I don't want to keep you on this video for hours. Sure you have other things to do. Okay, now let's go the other direction. Right heel up, left heel up, right heel down, left heel down. Right heel up, left heel up, right heel down, left heel down. Easy, breathe. Adjust your feet if you need to. Make sure that your knees are pointed straight ahead and that you're maintaining good posture. Okay, let's do the other foot. Woo! Both knees bent, shifting forward. Both knees bent, shifting back. Heels staying in contact with the floor. Nice, easy typewriter motion, forward and back. So I'm just facing sideways so you can see what my knees are doing here. You can be facing the camera, you don't have to be sideways to it. Feel the contact of your foot on the floor. Toes long, do not grab with your toes. Again, grabbing with your toes is a sign of poor balance. It's compensation. And it will hurt your foot over time. And if you are a lead with a shoe that covers your top of your toes, you're gonna have blisters there. It's not gonna feel good. All right, now lifting the front heel, both heels, left heel down, both heels up, right heel down, both heels up, left heel down, both heels up, right heel down, both heels up, left down. So nice smooth motion up and over. Adjust your feet closer. Okay, if this is too difficult for you to do, you can bring your feet closer. It'll be a little bit easier for you to raise up in between. Hips stay level. Okay, now let's combine the two. Circling, right heel up, both heels up, right heel down, left heel down. Right heel up, both heels up, right heel down, left heel down. Again. Oh, the joy of slow repetition. But believe me, you'll get a lot out of this one. One more. All right, people, let's go the other way. Left heel up, right heel up, left heel down, right heel down. Left heel up, right heel up, left heel down, right heel down. So I'm keeping my full foot and my heel in contact with the floor as much and as long as possible. So I'm not lifting up here. I'm waiting until I have no choice but to lift it in order to do the next motion. And here I'm letting it go down to the floor as soon as possible, and I lift up my heel in the front only when it's time, when I need to do that to shift. No forcing. Nice, easy, natural movement. The same as what we want our tango to look like. Nice, easy, natural. Nothing forced, nothing contrived. Breathe. No tension in your neck. No tension in your shoulders. And let's do it one more time. Do you feel warmed up? You should. I guarantee you, you're going to feel so grounded when you dance after doing these exercises. It's really going to help a lot.